Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. The past 24 hours have just been insane. I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday and I was busy with the website all the way until 10 o'clock that night. I barely was able to go out and walk for 30 minutes without breaking news coming down. It was just insane. But the positive is that Monday was NoDQ.com's best day of traffic since the night after WrestleMania 31. Thank you all for checking out the website and supporting NoDQ.com. NoDQ.com continues to have you covered with the latest breaking news and rumors. NoDQ.com, as well as Twitter.com/NoDQDOTCOM and Facebook.com/NoDQDOTCOM. Make sure you follow those sites. Got your questions from Twitter.com/AaronRift with the hashtag PAIV, so let's get down to your questions now. First one today comes from Ben W. Murray. What are your thoughts about Finn Balor having to relinquish his title due to injury? I think it sucks. It really sucks for Finn Balor. This was his biggest career moment, winning the brand new WWE Universal Championship at a major pay-per-view like SummerSlam, beating one of the top guys in the company in Seth Rollins. This was absolutely huge for Finn Balor. He was given this spot where he could come in and be dominating right from the get-go. Very few guys get that opportunity that Finn Balor got. So it's a huge blow to him to have this injury and be out of action now for at least 4 months, maybe longer, maybe 6 months. I mean, it's really unfortunate for him. Now, if he's lucky and the recovery goes well, maybe he'll be back for the Royal Rumble and WWE can do a comeback storyline for him. He can maybe win the Royal Rumble match and challenge the champion at WrestleMania. Maybe WWE could have Balor versus Rollins at WrestleMania for the title and let them have the all-time classic that many felt they were going to have at SummerSlam, but it didn't exactly live up to those expectations. Hopefully, if that match happens again at some point, the fans will not be so obsessed with the design of the Universal title, and those two will be able to have an all-time classic. Got this one here from Callie. Do you think Seth Rollins is unsafe in the ring? Will this affect his career a la Mr. Kennedy? How many people has he injured? He's starting to develop a track record of hurting people. We saw what happened with John Cena getting hurt, the knee to the face, and then of course the power bomb in the corner to Sting, which ultimately ended Sting's career. And then this injury with Finn Balor getting power bombed on the security wall during SummerSlam. It's not that Seth Rollins is unsafe. I think he's doing some unsafe moves. Maybe he needs to tone down his style a little bit. I really feel that a lot of guys in WWE should be toning down their styles. I think we're in an era right now where everyone's trying to have the match of the night. Everyone's trying to get all their big spots in, all their dives, all these crazy moves, which makes for great television. You know, you're watching as a fan, it's great to see this stuff, but somebody's going to get seriously hurt to the point where they might not be able to come back. In Finn Balor's case, he should be able to come back and resume his career. But one of these days, somebody's going to get really seriously hurt. And that's the big concern. I do think at the very least, WWE should ban that powerbomb into the corner and that powerbomb that Seth Rollins does. Because Sting getting hurt and now Finn Balor, it's going to end up costing WWE a lot of money for one thing, and the other thing is the well-being of the performers. And at the end of the day, WWE likes to pride themselves on protecting their talent. I would do that at least and play it safe with that. And just have Seth Rollins tone it down a little bit, that's all. I mean, Seth Rollins is incredible in the ring. He's a tremendous athlete. He's a professional. He knows what he's doing in the ring, but you know, I said this before when Sting got hurt. Accidents happen no matter how well trained you are. Accidents can happen. Got this one here from Michael. If WWE is going all the way with Finn Balor, should his alter ego never lose a match? Rare sighting like a Taker/Goldberg streak. Yeah, I would definitely do that with Finn Balor once he returns. He's already got one big win with the Demon character, and let him go on a winning streak with it. Why not? Maybe have him lose a match when he's not the Demon, and then he has to bring out the Demon character to get his revenge. And when he's the Demon character, you know he's really serious about winning. And something similar to when Kurt Angle would pull down the straps, you know he means business. When Finn Balor puts on that makeup, he's in a whole other zone and he truly means business. So yeah, I would definitely not have him lose with the demon paint for a very long time. This one comes from J-Ro. Do you think the WWE Universal title will be the second-rate main event title like the World Heavyweight title was? No, because it's the Raw title, and the Raw title is usually the main title because it's on the A show. Back in 2003, 2004, the World Heavyweight Championship was really the championship. When Triple H was the champion, the World Heavyweight title was the number one title, and the title that JBL and Eddie Guerrero were fighting over was the secondary title. So it's a matter of what show it's on. Again, the titles are just props, really. It's just about the champion making the title important. The person that's holding the title is making that title credible. Just like when John Cena was the United States champion. John Cena elevated that title. We're not in the era anymore where the titles make the men. It's the men that make the titles. This one comes from Alex Suggs. Who do you see as the next Universal Champion? I want to say Kevin Owens, but more than likely WWE is just going to push Roman Reigns. This is a really good question. I think that it could very well end up being Roman Reigns. That's the predictable route because I'm sure the original plan was for Seth Rollins to have a rematch with Finn Balor at the next pay-per-view, the Night of Champions, or Clash of Champions. So I could see Roman Reigns just filling into that spot that Finn Balor had, which more than likely was going to happen eventually anyways. Now it might be sped up. There's always a possibility we could see a dark horse win like Big Cass as a huge shock, have him win the title. I think it's way too soon though. I mean, to me that would be a mistake to put the world title on Big Cass at this stage of the game. I mean, that would be a great way to create backlash and get fans not liking Big Cass because he's being pushed too soon. And it's not like Finn Balor. I mean, everyone loves Finn Balor, but with Big Cass, I mean, a lot of fans feel that as entertaining as he is, part of the entertainment is the duo of Enzo and Cass, and you know, fans might see Cass getting the title as Vince shoving him down people's throats, and we all know how well that worked for Roman Reigns. I think it's too soon. Owens winning, I mean, unless he's turning babyface, I doubt that's going to happen. And Owens is involved with Chris Jericho as a tag team right now. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but Roman Reigns is probably the most likely candidate. Maybe Seth Rollins will win, and then Roman Reigns will challenge Rollins at the next pay-per-view. But I think the most likely prediction is that at Clash of Champions, it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and it's just a matter of who the champion is. This one comes from Daniel Jobber. Do you think Vince will trust Sasha Banks with the belt again after another injury? How about Bayley winning the belt? That's an interesting question about Sasha Banks because there were reports several months ago that Vince was concerned about Sasha Banks being injury prone, and Sasha went on Twitter and started ripping into the internet sites and the newsletters, the dirt sheets, whatever you want to call them. And Sasha pretty much shut all those rumors down, and now she's hurt again. So, yeah, if she keeps getting hurt, then it's going to decrease the chances of her really being able to have a lengthy reign as the women's champion. And now with Finn Balor getting hurt, I think WWE is going to be more careful about who they put the titles on. WWE is going to want the champions to be someone that can stay healthy and be champion for a lengthy period of time without getting injured. We've had several guys now having to forfeit the championships, whether it's Daniel Bryan or Seth Rollins last year or Finn Balor, and Sasha having to drop it because of injury. I mean, you know, WWE doesn't want that. So they're trying to put the titles on people that are as durable as possible. As far as Bayley winning the title anytime soon, I mean, I could see it happening just to have that feel-good moment and maybe do the same plan that they had with Bayley versus Sasha Banks, but just reverse it, have Bayley as the champion and Sasha comes back and tries to win it off her. But I think what would be best would be for Charlotte to win and then have Sasha come back as a babyface, win the title, and then have Bayley as a babyface chase a heel Sasha Banks going to WrestleMania. So I really feel WWE should stick with a heel Sasha versus a babyface Bayley. Keep the title on Charlotte for now and have Bayley chase for several months rather than winning it right away. Got this one here from Lime Tennant. Does Charlotte have X-Pac heat? To me, it seems like the fans haven't cared for her in quite some time. I do feel there's some resentment. I think some fans see Charlotte as having the position in the company because of the fact that she's Ric Flair's daughter, and I think that got worse when Ric Flair was paired with her on television and Ric Flair was cutting all these promos and, you know, Charlotte was wearing the robe like Ric Flair and having herself act more and more like her father instead of being her own unique character. So yeah, I do feel there is some X-Pac heat to a degree, but also she's been doing really well as a heel as well. So it's hard to tell exactly. You know, it's very polarizing. Do fans boo her because it's part of the show, or are they booing her because they really don't like her? It might be a little bit of both at this point. This one comes from @SparksZZ96. With the lack of big stars in the women's division on SmackDown, do you think Bayley should have been put there? No, I think Bayley's definitely better on Raw, and she's got this opportunity right now to get right into the mix with Charlotte for the Women's Championship. And some people were noting that Bayley said in interviews she didn't want to go for the women's title right away, probably because she doesn't want fans to think she's being shoved down people's throats. But you know, from a business perspective and as far as Bayley's bank account goes, this is a great thing for her because she's getting this huge push right away and she's going to be making the big money now on the main roster. So it's great for her and she's in a great spot. So I definitely feel she's better on Raw. And let's face it, I mean, Raw is like the women's division and SmackDown is more or less the Divas division at this point. You have Nikki Bella there and you have the Total Divas cast members, Eva Marie and Natalia. I mean, that's really what it feels like at this point. That SmackDown is more about the women that are coming out there and being the personalities, and on Raw it's more about the wrestling. So I think Bayley's a better fit on Raw, quite frankly. This one comes from R.I.P. Mitch. Do you think that Finn Balor could return at the Royal Rumble and win it if he is healthy? If he is healthy, this is going back to earlier, if he is healthy and can return for the Royal Rumble, I would have him win the Royal Rumble. I'm tired of every year long established guys winning the Royal Rumble. I'd like to see a newcomer or a relative newcomer win the Royal Rumble for once. That would be a nice change of pace. So yeah, if Finn Balor is able to come back in time for the Rumble, have him win it. Have him challenge the Universal Champion, whether it's Seth Rollins or somebody else. Have him make his big comeback and win at WrestleMania. That's what I would do at least. This one comes from Mr. DCD. Hey Aaron, why is WWE not using the Dudley Boys as a tag team on the SmackDown Live brand if there is no depth on the roster? I'm not sure what's going on with the Dudley Boys at this point. It's really interesting because a while back it was reported that they were going to sign new deals with the company and now all of a sudden they're done. I'm not sure if this is going to lead to an angle. Maybe Devon is bowing out and Bubba's going to come back with a new version of his Bully Ray character, or maybe WWE just had no plans for them and they decided to call it a career in WWE and just go back to running their school or working indie dates and just toning it down. I mean, they came back, had their big run, and I'm sure they're going to go into the Hall of Fame at some point as well. So who knows? I'm not really sure what the deal is, but the bottom line is that the Dudley Boys as an act really, it ran its course. I mean, they came back for nostalgia purposes and there's really nothing left for them to do as a tag team. So I think it was best to have them retire, and if they're going to appear again, either appear at the Hall of Fame or have Bubba come back and maybe have a run with a Bully Ray type character. And beyond that, I really don't see the point in keeping the Dudley Boys around. I think if anything, it's just tarnishing them to have them just be on opening matches and pre-show matches and not really have any kind of purpose on the roster. This one comes from Ravishing Raven. Has the use of managers been a lost role in WWE? Would you like to see more managers being used? Managers have not been a factor in WWE in a very long time. I mean, Vince always had this idea that managers were old school wrestling, and that's why they were phased out in the early 90s. And we've never really seen managers make a comeback since. But I feel there is a purpose in having managers around. I mean, managers can be the mouthpiece for guys that are not really strong talkers. And in this era, we definitely have better talkers than we did in terms of being able to follow a script, at least. I'm not so sure about ad-libbing. But yeah, I would like to see perhaps managers come back. Just something different to change things up. We have Brock Lesnar, who's essentially a manager for Brock Lesnar, coming out there and being his mouthpiece, and he's really effective. So why not have one or two more guys that can really talk and cut an awesome promo, and have those guys be there to help get over some of the guys that are not quite as strong on the mic. All right, last one here comes from Gene Q. Why do you have to take a cheap shot at TNA on every question sent to you? New questions, same answers. I'm about to give you the same answer right now as I do for all the rest. Do you really think I'm trying to take cheap shots at TNA? I would like TNA to be a hot commodity. I would like them to be on fire business-wise, because if they were successful, my site would be more successful. Why is it in my best interest for them to fail? Explain that to me. But to answer your question, TNA is a dead brand. That's not me stating an opinion. That's not me taking a cheap shot. TNA tapes 3 nights in a 2 or 3 month span. They tape 6 weeks of television, and they do not tour. They only run 1 or 2 pay-per-views a year, and this year they're running their biggest pay-per-view of the year, their WrestleMania at Universal Studios, where they let people in for free. How is that taking a cheap shot at TNA that they're a dead brand and they're going nowhere? Explain that to me. I wish they were doing way better. That's really all I can tell you at this point. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend on Facebook or Twitter. Subscribe at youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Check out my personal channel at youtube.com/AaronRift. Got a lot of videos on there. Cat videos, travel videos, driving videos, video game videos, you name it. All sorts of random stuff. And if you have any suggestions for something you would like to see, hit me up. Would love to have your feedback. And that'll do it. That'll do it for this video. I will see you guys next time.